This story on our website, kcba.com. New tonight, police call it bullying on steroids. We're talking about gang stalking, but it actually has nothing to do with the gangs that you first think of. Central Coast News reporter Candace Wynn learned more about the trend and how it's getting more dangerous because of the internet.
It makes me feel, if it was me, I would take action.
Santa Cruz Police Lieutenant Larry Richards said police are becoming more aware of gang stalking because of cyberbullying. But what is gang stalking?
Basically, the victims could be driving their car or talking on their phones or walking the streets when a group of people try to systematically terrorize them.
Richard said gang stalking is nothing new, but new technology is making it more common.
Gang stalking itself, they have elevated themselves to technology. So this is something that's been going on before the age of Facebook, Twitter, those other social websites. They just now have gone into those areas.
Gazzino said he's proof that the problem isn't just online and that it can hit too close to home, a home he plans on leaving because of gang stalking.
I want to be able to go to the tennis courts and play tennis or play ping pong without people following us everywhere. It's just nerve-wracking.
I'm Candace Wynn in Salinas, your Central Coast News.
If found guilty of gang stalking, a person may face criminal, conspiracy, and stalking charges, all of which are felony charges in California.
Napa County, his name is Mr. Wayne Warren. He's going to do a presentation in reference to Napa State Hospital, which is so important. Strengths, believe me, as a targeted individual, we all understand how draining the lives can be, let alone with the voices that we have, but the gang stalking, the daily tortures and manipulations that we have to go through with people in society, thinking that we're either mentally ill, and through illicit channels, probably through family services or whatever kind of contraption, community mental health it might be, or some drug detox place in the 70s. How children with mental illness have been used for experimentation, and through Napa State Hospital, not only was I known that I was using for experimentation of drugs, but only through pharmacology and through mind control experimentations of a staff member literally. I think is a solution. Well, the solution is doing what we're doing right here. Doing what we're doing right here. Getting together, talking, and utilizing our time together to put it on TV to make the public well aware and to contact members, not.
Periodically, over the past several decades, we've heard of situations when the U.S. government has experimented on human beings. Some cases have involved nuclear weapons, others, LSD and mind control. So is it possible something similar could happen to us right now without our knowledge? In tonight's special assignment, Ross Blackstone introduces us to Northern Californians who say it is, and that they have proof.
Imagine everywhere you go, someone is watching, reading your thoughts, controlling your mind.
They know what you do inside your house, which you're being monitored, and 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
At the state capitol last summer, Marianne Stratton rallied with dozens of other Californians who say it's happening to them through ultra-frequency radio waves.
I can be in a room full of 1,000 people, but it'll only affect me.
They believe the government is sending radio waves to directly affect the unique electromagnetic waves in their brains. That way it can control their thoughts and bodies.
Microwave weapons kill your brain. Just like your cell phone. 20% of fucking Americans will be left in 6 generations because of cell phone technology. It's killing us. AT&T and the government knows about it. Look up Barry Trower. He'll fucking show you the mathematical equations for it.
Hey, it's All Day Live, and maybe alive, try to be alive. Everybody has to struggle at trying to be that in this world today. I am Will P. Wilson. This is the All Day Live show. But some people, it's hard to be alive. circumstance in the world of today where their lives are being taken in many more ways than people could ever be aware. Such as, like, hopefully we'll have a party who we'll be talking to here pretty quick after we have an interview with Ron Gilman on the circumstances of being a targeted individual. What is a targeted individual? Well, how do people be targeted? How are they targeted? What is targeting? What is Black Ops? We're going to hear from Sam Jenkins here in a minute of how Black Ops stopped Ascension. That's another thing. Author, tremendous book, very powerful, informative text. I'm sure he's going to have more on the way on the subject of Black Ops. What is Black Ops? Who's paying for Black Ops? Well, the victims are truly paying for Black Ops. I know that, and I know that people have mentioned to me about neuroeconomics, which we'll hear about that from A, who's going to call in, I hope, and about the fact of neuroeconomics. What are the fusion centers tied to DHS, Department of Homeland Security? And what's this money laundering fact that it's been found that there's millions of these perps, that's short for perpetrator, perps are running around the countryside being paid with special phones and technologies to be able to regulate, target, or make sure that they get paid for specific groups of people that they are assigned to target. If they walk by, whatever, however that all works, in this vast array of unmonitored, no oversight weapons, I would call them, that are being used on millions of American people. And we'll hear from Ron in just a second. He's been a target individual spokesperson at the Mind Control Summit in Las Vegas. And it's based on what's called the Super Warrior Program, research that's gone into this. How many contractors? 20, 30, 50, 100,000 contractors building this technology? Who's watching over the fact of who uses it and who doesn't? And are they going to use it against one another? And is this the end of humanity? Maybe that's why we're going to have Sam Jenkins on. Maybe that's what he means, the end of the human presence here on the planet. This might be that end, based on people of such evil nature that they have stolen trillions of dollars, now using it to launder those trillions back into a system to have all of us, people, be targets, one way or another. I'm sure even the perps are being targeted, and perps within perps within perps. And who's to say that, you know, how would somebody not even know that, let's say you've got a department in the government, that your so-called, you know, people that are in your department are using it on one another or on their boss. I mean, how about lawyers and courtrooms and judges being targets as well? Where does it stop? Where does it literally stop, or will it stop all humanity? Ron, it's good to see you. And in the circumstances that we're in, and whatever this is all about as far as the insanity of this that doesn't make any sense, how is it that, would say you, having been a target, I can hear your mic, you're fine, and we're fine, we can hear that. And I got your contact information up. If people want to Google you, they can find Ron Gilman on Google search. But as far as you having spoken at the Mind Control Summit, Ron, and being a spokesperson on this, the circumstances get a little bit too much to tolerate, because it doesn't, just because you're a spokesperson doesn't mean that you're not still being targeted. They are still targeting you. Eighth cranial nerve, voice of skull, neurophone technology, you know, stuff, remote operated, who knows what else they can do with even holographic remote, who knows? And I'm sure that you've been a tremendous test subject. And maybe they did it so that they knew that you had the personal strength within to figure it out, but then go speak about it, and then they just sit and listen to you because you're simply being used for research. What better way to turn you into a spokesperson and you're being used for research? How does that work?
That was a pretty good explanation, because what I saw the other night, what they're using for the Project Blue beam, that will soon be known by everyone, it was like the old-time news cameras that I saw everywhere on top of the apartment building across the street and in their backyard. And, oh, my whole street was watching what was being displayed. I'll tell you what, folks, you know, my time is, I've been experimented on enough, and they know it's, my time is very limited, and or my good friends. I happened to watch a bubble
oh, this is going to be hard for me to talk about. But there's something called the Hitler template that we learned from Deborah that changed her face.
Deborah Weber.
Deborah Weber. She was very open about it. You can Facebook her, whatever that crap
Federal
is.
witness?
Yeah, federal witness Deborah. They restructured her appearance with this thing called a Hitler template. Great scientific discovery that our weaponry of all this microwave arsenal that we now have and are employing upon Americans. And we have the evil forces that are living 1, 2, 3 doors down or the whole street. It doesn't even matter. It's all in place and it's ready now to be deployed. Listen, cell phone technology, who cares? If I call 911, I'm not calling 911. And my computer isn't getting out or getting information like your computer. It's what the government lets me see. Only, and as you know, Will, your phone blew up with another cell phone with 10 miles apart from each other. And that motorcycle asshole just happened to park right behind our car when it blew up, just kind of taunt us before we got on the other show. Well, you know, when I saw the bubble, the blister, travel across my girlfriend's head, it made me sick. I cried, and I could only make her comfortable. She was out like a light. And you could hear the pain. And the next 2-3 days later, she had the biggest headache. She's recently had some traumatic event happen in South Snohomish County after being pulled over by 4 people in a van. And that was to stop me from getting into court. I take the blame. That was the day that she was going to come to Vegas with us, but her mom had a thought to travel 20 hours non-stop to get to her house to help her move her, or help her pack up her house. And that very night when we were going to be going to Vegas is when she was pulled over and bashed with a baton and used it as an ashtray and raped the same way. Anyway,
so what we're looking at is they are raping people, as Dr. Hall has mentioned, who's a doctor in Texas who spoke at the Mind Control Summit, mentioned that he has investigated prosecutors, police, judges, you name it. They have had to contend with these characters misusing this technology and for different reasons, for getting away with rape even. Bureaucrats, high up, right? I mean,
oh, well, you know, I mean, I just was in court and I was objected to have the prosecutor, Sue McDonald, I believe her beautiful name is, wonderful woman. You got to meet her in Shoreline. She's just a queen bee. She denied me, objected for me to have witness. 4 years of mind control, 4 years of torture, hundreds of thousands of dollars spent, stolen, just to keep my equipment or my cars and my, oh my God. You know what? My house gets broken into every night. They poison me every night, and they, who knows why I'm out there raping my girlfriend right next to me. It's just this. We are now, and if you don't listen to me, you need to listen to this. We are now at a precipice. Precipice? We're at the tipping point right now, guys. It's in play. There is true evil in place on your street. I live in a street where no one works. Beautiful homes, all well kept up yards, just, you know, the wonderful neighborhood if you were to drive by. But I'll tell you what, evil lurks there and across my street. And I've been told it's everywhere. There's nowhere to hide. And I've given proof in the Woodinville Police Department when they told me, when I just went to report my crime of $1,500 was stolen, or a backhoe was stolen. I don't remember exactly which one, because I have Alzheimer's at 51 all of a sudden, which I tell you what, it's a wonderful, wonderful thing to have. Anyway, the officer threw my hands behind my back just for reaching to grab his card. Brought me outside, and all of a sudden there was two King Counties and two Woodinville cops standing right there. And that asshole decided to question me and saying, "Where's that weapon you were talking about?" I looked at him and I said, "F you." I had a break-in in Carrie's house. Tariq Moses was my witness. The deputy that came by was going to take a report. The sergeant at that particular time, Sergeant White, I believe his name was. I might be mistaken. Please don't take my names anymore, because my mind is being zapped as I was zapped outside by the people in the trees with their microwave weaponry. I could see the lights saying, "Can you feel that?" Anyway, that sergeant told that deputy who was doing his job to report a crime committed in my house. He told me to get the hell out of the house, take no report. Thanks, South Snohomish County Sheriff's Mill Creek Department. You're doing a wonderful career job. And by the way, that was the area that my friend was raped in. And that's the area, well, I think it was Linwood, where her dog was kidnapped in, and said, "You know, we know that you're alone now." She's been an MK the whole time. She had her, 8 teeth pulled out, and then they went in and grabbed her molars in the back with no Novocaine, and her mother knew nothing about it, apparently. When I told her mother she was been raped, her mother yelled at me for being at the house. Yeah, people, I'll tell you what, there may be payoffs to family members, or they may be, you know, like the senator who blew the boy in the bathroom and doesn't want his wife and kids to know about it because he was subjected to some mind crap that made him do that. It's time. It's now unleashing. You know, all the crimes, the kindergartners, murders, the NSA, Aaron Alexis, that shit isn't done by a human being anymore. That's a guy who's been tormented beyond belief. You wouldn't understand unless you have Voice of Skull. Right now it's coming through that wall saying, "You're fucking dead, Ron. You're dead. You just killed Carrie, your children. Everybody's dead, Ron." How do you feel about it? Can you imagine that? And here I am talking to you as clear as mud. I've already went through all the tests. And you know what? 4 years of waiting in court, that when Sue McDonald, prosecutor for Shoreline and Lake Forest Park, said, "Objection to a witness list," I just said, my God, it's here. I had to prove it to myself. 4 years of going through mental evaluations. I have surgery on my foot from the microwave weaponry. And I watched the bubble travel across my girlfriend's head in her frontal lobe region where they do the lobotomy. Well, they have lobotomy on a satellite dish now, folks, or whatever flies in the sky. And I'll tell you what, she's dying. She's losing the memory, the life. Now her house is being ripped out from underneath her by either a mind-controlled person or a person in on it. And he's making it so much worse. And she can't just stop and say, "Look, I've just been raped. I went to the doctor. He wouldn't give me a Tylenol for all the bruises because she has a past history." You have no idea how deep this goes. I had to go through 30 doctors to find a real one. PacMed, Evergreen Hospital. Boy, get ready. And Everett Clinic, by the way, who gave me the first surgery that gave me the frequencies that I feel only in my left ear after it all blew up overnight. I had to get surgery, and the only dial or the only phone or number that I could find that was given me by my DSHS was that clinic. And at night, the surgery was performed, and I was out. The next couple of months, boom, microwave auditory effect. Voice to skull at 47. Get it, folks? Dr. Hall talks about soon everyone in America will have this in their family. It's in every street corner if you look. Look in your trees. Take a deep, dark look in your trees. I'm telling you what. I've seen them everywhere, and it's not just because I have a retinal camera that another doctor in by the Swedish hospital tells me is a mole, but they've been there since my, ear situation. And boy, I'll tell you what, it's enough to drive somebody to the point of insanity. You can only hear your kids are dead so many times, or how mutilated they'll be. But after you watch a satanic ritual happen at north end of Lake Washington, right next to the golf course, with badges and police cars and black and whites, and you walk away from that just so you could talk about it, here I am talking about it. You won't believe the threats I have against my friends and family. You won't believe what this microwave lobotomy can do to you. Here's my friend who turned into a spider the other day. I watched this. What drug was I on? I watched her tuck up these little, I'm not even a computer guy, but like a little computer discs into the stomach, and the stomach folded inside as she had hands and legs, and she's going, Ron, I hate you. Why did you do this? And I'm going, turn me into a spider. I'll protect you. Huh. Wow. You want me as a neighbor? You see what MK Ultra can do to a person? What did that person see when they were in the kindergarten shooting all those children? Can you imagine what was going through his head after they probably blew away his mom in front of him or whatever they did? I mean, this is sick, sick shit. Right down to stealing your knives and forks and the CDs of your house to make like your boyfriend did it, to separate you and him so they can rape her every night in groups of 5. I'm telling you what, folks, this is in your backyard. You better be prepared. You better listen. I've given you enough information, and I'm not a liar. They just stole all those SD cards I showed you in the past. That's all they came in for a week before my trial. That's all they wanted. Why would they want those? You know what they did next when I got to my house this week? Because I left my house after seeing 5-foot spiders everywhere, or thinking that, because I had this, implants that, the Discovery Channel just found out they're titanium, and I don't give a shit about any contract anymore, because my life is limited. And or my children's, and or my friends. It doesn't matter. All the cards on the table. I was probably in a contract. I just avoided it. I don't care. Sorry. They're titanium chips. Made me get smell and taste back. They stole 37 SD cards. One of them had the Dragonfly drone. The last one. A lot of them had UFOs. The ones that fly over Lake Washington, north end. Go down, where do I live? 3533 Northeast 148th Street. Check it out. Watch that ritual happen. Make sure it's a full-blown moon, and you'll watch shit that you'll never see before in your life. You'll see these freaks on the street, like bowing to the goddess. These guys are so brainwashed, it's not even funny. They're beyond repair. Barry Trower has done the math. Cell phone technology will be taking 80% of the population off the face of the earth in 6 generations. And the government and AT&T know all about it. I'm sick of holding the information that I got within. You should see the threats in my subliminals that I get visually now in my head. I've been told, my friend, they wouldn't have a problem slitting her throat from ear to ear if I ever said anything. Huh, because she's Chinese. These are the biggest white satanic Satanists you've ever could understand. And they believe in something that doesn't exist. They have no idea what's in store for them, but I don't give a shit. I don't give a shit. It's their plight, not mine. All I care about is you be prepared, because my family and friends are already dead, according to them. And it's not going to be death, it's going to be bumping into walls, because all of a sudden they're going to go nuts because the microwave weaponry that's subjected to them daily.
Ron, real quick, we're going to take a real quick break and come back with Sam Jenkins, the author. Is that okay? We'll cover that for the second half of the show.
That'd be a beautiful thing, yeah. I've said probably enough to kill me already.
Okay. Oops, I had my mic off. I imagine that's kind of.
I'm already dead.
I have to count all my tentacles as an octopus in this whole thing. Anyway, we'll be right back, and for the second half, hold this thought. And Ron, thank you for this testimony. Thank you. Greatly honored. We'll be right back.
Just to some of the things I'm going to talk about. Sam Jenkins.
Sam Jenkins. We're talking about how Black Ops have blocked Ascension. Now that tells me that they've got access to the human life cycle. So tell us who you are.
I am, right now, I consider myself a prisoner of a Black Ops Navy SEALs group. I was in.
Hey, it's All Day Live again, and we're at the second part of this program, and as we're going to hear from Sam Jenkins, the author of How Black Ops Stopped Ascension. And most people probably don't even know what Ascension means. And Ron, thank you for your input for this. People don't know what you have to go through.
That's just the gist of it. You have no idea what V2K is like.
Right, and Sam's an author on a book about Black Ops. Sam, we're greatly here. We got you in the background right there for YouTube. They can find your book on Amazon.com. And input on what this is about. This is scary. I mean, if I was watching me right now and didn't even know anything, I'd be scared of what I would be saying if I was listening.
Don't be afraid.
And it's voice to skull, so who knows what you're listening to.
Yeah, don't be afraid. Just be knowledgeable. The only way you can defeat your enemy is by having knowledge of them. That's how come they monitor all of us through our mind, not our emails and texts, as they'd like you to know.
But we got you in the background, your book, Black Ops. Sam, go ahead. Give us some input. You were inspired to write this book because you were a target, right?
Oh, yeah, I'm a targeted individual.
You're very. And it was.
Proud of it, huh, Sam?
I'm sorry?
I say I'm proud of it.
I'm sorry, you guys are echoing pretty bad. It's hard to.
I won't say anything.
Understand?
I won't say anything. Let him talk.
Go ahead. I'm just trying to get everything mediated into the media here.
Remember, I was a TI because I got 1,756 people reinsured with Washington State Insurance. Sam, how did you become a victim?
Can you hear him, Sam?
Yes. Yeah, but it's going pretty bad. It's hard to understand.
It's probably that helicopter that flies over my house is right over my, area right now.
Can you hear him now?
Yes.
Okay, good, good.
I'm getting the helicopters now, Sam.
Okay, so they got the helicopters out. Yeah, I still get those on a regular basis too.
Oh yeah, it's getting way bad.
Quite a bit, yeah. Yeah, they like to send those out, especially when they're mad. When they usually want to send you a message, that's commonly when you'll get a helicopter.
Yeah, it doesn't do shit. Waste of fuel for the taxpayers.
Well, I filmed one over his house a couple of days ago, and it was right over his house. And they noticed me with the camera, and they kind of like wandered away after they realized that they were being filmed as well. But who knows what else is going on when they're doing that, right? Right?
Well, at night and stuff. When you, how about the ones you can't hear?
Yeah, what about that, Sam? I'm sure you've investigated. I'm sure we got more books on the way because somebody's got to write about it. At least somebody's got to read about it. I mean,
yeah, I'd like to do that. I'd like to get more out. Definitely.
Is Black Ops, and like even we mentioned Navy SEALs, on how they're deploying, should I say, because they're not employing anymore, deploying the way of keeping busy military, keeping them busy, keeping them deployed. You know, I mean, what else am I looking at? They don't employ anymore, they deploy. And they're having us destroy one another, spy on one another, do whatever it is that they were all trained to be Black Ops.
Well, you got to remember that Deborah was telling us, I don't know how we can confirm, but you know, the 100 million Siberian Africans that just disappeared off the face of the earth?
Yeah.
That's pretty busy, isn't it?
They were 100 million women disappeared, apparently, according to her. She's a federal witness on the organized crime families involved with this so-called.
That kept them busy for a while.
Yeah, but she's like completely damaged, very damaged little girl.
Oh, she's really been hurt. And that's what we'll all end up speaking. Oh, I didn't want to go there.
But Sam, go ahead. Tell us a little bit of what your newest research has found. What else can we learn from you? Go ahead.
Well, I recently went down to Nicaragua, trying to escape, trying to get away from the frequency tax, just to see if I could break free from it, from the frequency fence that I'm in, from the electromagnetic remote neurological control and torture. I've heard from another TI, a guy named Brian too. He said that he's been in Nicaragua and that he's only experiencing B2K. So I thought that would be worth a try. I went down there last week, and unfortunately, they, that's not the case. The targeting was the same for me. They could do it just about everything that they could do here. I may as well have been in Washington D.C. or Chicago or whatever. So that's bad news. You know, I don't think there's anywhere you can go in the Western Hemisphere, to escape. Maybe Russia or China, but you're kind of rolling the dice if you go there too, because they do human experimentation too to some extent. I'm not so sure about Russia. Russia might be.
God.
Might
oh my fucking God! I'm being hit hard.
In fact, I'll just go ahead and say this. I actually went to the Russian embassy in
This is nothing.
Nicaragua. I actually went there and spoke to them. Told them I'm an American citizen. Here's my passport. Blah blah blah. And I'm being tortured to death by the American military. Sadly, unfortunately, I would have thought being in their embassy, I would have had some frequency protection that they wouldn't have been able to hit me in there, but they could. That's the latest, I guess, the latest adventure that I've been up to.
Sam, how was after Vegas?
Just trying to survive in general.
Ask Sam how Vegas, after he was at Vegas, how hard it got to live.
After you spoke at the Super Soldier Summit, mindcontrolsummit.com in Vegas, how did you feel afterwards?
Good. I felt very good. It was very therapeutic, very healthy, and I always feel good anytime. I think I can help other people. Any kind of advice that I can give. So that was very positive and very supportive. All the support, all the other TIs and you know, the whole crowd there.
Are you all right?
Of course, great to meet you guys, meet you and Ron and the other folks.
Thanks for picking me up, by the way.
Go ahead. He just got hit in the studio, by the way. I hope you're all right.
No,
they did that once before, same year.
I just said thanks Sam for picking me up off the floor that day. I do the same for you.
Yeah, you were in bad shape.
Yeah.
Kind of like how I've been most of the day. They've sedated me pretty heavily.
Yeah. Well, they knocked everybody. I was in the back row with Ron, and I fell off my chair at the same time. People should know that. I mean, we were zapped all at the same time. They seem to have good ways of hitting everybody in a certain way. Cars, people, everything. Ron,
well, that federal witness couldn't even get out of a room.
Yeah. Amazing. So really, Sam, if there's really no way to escape this, even if you were to go down to foreign countries, is there? I mean, how would you escape it? I mean,
it's set up.
There isn't any way.
The only thing you could do, and unfortunately it's not accessible to civilians, you know, to average people. What you could do is try and get a frequency scrambler, you know, some kind of jammer that would jam it, you know, professional and military graded. It'd be a very, very specialized piece of equipment. or you could try being in a very special military base environment, you know, a professional, shielded room, you know, at a very protective government office, you know, something like that. That's short of that. There is nothing you can do. I've tried just about everything. I've been all kinds of places. I've tried going way down into a cave. You know, it's virtually impossible. You know, even if you're on a plane, it's unchanged. They still target you the same way when you're traveling on a plane. You know, it's nonstop.
You know, you got to keep the, if I may interrupt, right now I'm hearing, you know, I'm so dead through the back of, I'm hearing you're so dead, Ron, you've just way beyond killed everybody. Right behind you, Will. Anyway, that Aaron Alexis talks about the through wall, you know, voices that kept him up all night. Well, that's what it's like right now for me. Anyway, the technology may not just, do I still have Mike? Can you hear me?
Yeah, Mike's wandering here.
The technology may not just be on the ground. Okay? I have seen and I have witnesses who've seen objects flying. And yeah, you can call me a nut for saying UFO, but I know what they are. They're not UFO anymore. Our military owns them. Now you're dead. Thank you. That's what I wanted to hear. Anyway,
yeah.
So it may not just be, you know, all in the trees or the bush 350 yards away, as Barry Trower states, the range of the little toys they hold. Those goddamn ones in the sky, man, that, whoa, those are the zappers. Be it a helicopter that you can't hear, whatever it is. The tethered triangles or whatever you want to call it. I'm just so sick of knowing what I know and not talking about it before my death, because I am dead, guys. Get it. And or I'm going to watch everyone around me die first so I suffer. Anyway, I'm sorry, Sam, for interrupting.
Sam, we have reason to believe that, like, for example, why we are doing these TV programs is because, and the book is, again, How Black Ops Stopped Ascension, Transhumanism, End of Human Era, isn't just the threat of all human survival on planet Earth, that it's based on the, if I get my mic to work, the equipment doesn't even work here. Anyway, it's a circumstance that it's like we really just need to look at how we can escape the planet itself. Dave, I mean, how do we jump off this thing? I mean, and yeah, I mean, unbelievable.
How do we take over a government that's been taken over?
Yeah, well, that's both those points are. That's right. I think United States is under occupation. It's an occupational type of government. In reality, it's probably been that way actually for a very, very long time. But
Yep.
But yeah, I personally, I feel like, I mean, literally, you know, I wish there was some way that I could get off the planet, because there's virtually no escape from this, you know, and it's obviously a global agenda. There's no question whatsoever. But you know, I mean, I guess, you know, what can you do? Just try and survive.
Sam, did you ever witness?
Survive, and hopefully, actually, one thought I've had is that if there was some kind of massive EMP, some massive electromagnetic pulse that shut down the grid.
There you go.
Then we'd be free. I'd be free, because that's all this is based on electricity. And if the grid was shut down, if someone or something that just kicked the holy shit out of the U.S., Britain, and company, you know, or you know, just in general, you know, maybe some kind of cosmic, you know, space event, you know, some huge rock comes flying down here and wreaks havoc. You know, that would do the trick, and I'd be jumping for joy. You know, I would give anything just to even have 5 minutes of being how I was. Of
Yeah. Oh my God.
Monstrous.
You forget what it was like.
Menticide torture. You know, mind-killing, mind-raping machine.
Oh my
turned
God.
off. That's really, I think, short of that. You know, I think that's the only kind of scenario that's going to save us.
You know, Sam, you can't imagine. I mean, what you just said. People, I lost smell and taste for 8 months until they pulled those chips out of my head that were made of titanium. You don't imagine what it's like not having a voice in your head, or not having the full ability of your body movements. You know, when your body is controlled. My chin was going like this last night. They're saying, "Can you feel that? Can you feel that?" Testing little implants into my body. You know, they had me 6 days, 3 days in a row in ICU, twice at the Evergreen Hospital. And when I woke up in one midstream, it was 10 to 12 doctors around me as I pulled out my catheter and said, "What the hell's going on?" Boom, they put me right back out.
Well, we've got, in the background, we've had an intro with Wayne Morin. He is a, called Conspiracy TV creator down in Napa Valley, California, explaining how they use these operations when people are in the high hospitals, psychiatric hospitals, to implant. Like, Ron, you were mentioning that's what happened to you.
Yes.
They implanted you.
Oh yeah, that's you know, one of the MRIs showed a rod going right down the middle of my head.
So what do you know about this advancement things? I mean, don't they realize that they're going to be using this technology amongst themselves and killing each other? Are they aware of that, Sam? I mean, are they?
Well,
I mean,
the plan is that, you know, for the elites, you know, the people that are quote unquote in the program themselves. The plan is they aren't going to turn the technology on themselves. They're just going to, what they're going to do first, and everyone's heard these themes, and they're, you know, the general stories and themes that you've heard about New World Order plans about depopulation are correct. They're going to kill a huge chunk of the population off and then enslave the rest. So they'll be a lot like Ron and I are, except they won't know what hit them. They will have no idea what happened. They'll just be under total remote control. But the elites and, you know, the military industrial complex, which is needed to administrate, to run this stuff, they'll be left intact, or at least that they think they will. I mean, obviously there has to be some kind of structure, some kind of personnel to run things from the top. So they aren't going to, you know, to turn it on themselves. They certainly will apply it, you know, to everyone else to enforce total total enslavement and control, right down to the cellular level of every human being, of every resource on Earth, basically.
Amazing. And Ron, you know, we're just here just to watch us, study us until we die, right?
Well, yeah, I mean, basically, you know, I'm watching my friends get raped and there's nothing they can do about it. And, you know, if they got the mayor, the court, you know, the newspaper, you know, how are we going to make this so real to the people that are so busy in their lives, they won't even be able to begin to watch such a boring subject. But again, I've been on Discovery program, and what I've been told is the government bought that program, by the way. But how do we get the word out to them that this is on its way? It's in your neighborhood right now. You think all those bankruptcy housing things were, you know, for no reason? It's to house the perps. And if you don't get that, you will. But there is something on the street corner that's going to make you look like a nut basket, that's going to get you on a pill, that's going to get you a lobotomy in a pill, it's called. And pretty soon it'll create diabetes, and you'll be a medical, you know, problem, and you'll have to spend all your insurance money or whatever, you know, go bankrupt. And then you'll start understanding, you know, who's stealing all your tools and shit out of your backyard, because it's, you know, you have to live this to know what it's about. I've lost everything. I have nothing to lose anymore. I've seen my friend's mind. She's going away in front of me. And there's nothing I can do to stop it. And the police just laugh. I'm sorry. Who is ever behind these tools just laugh. Saying, hey, how do you like your new friend? Just like they used to say, how do you like your new back? Remember, I used to be crippled. And before I was experimented on, you know, you will be able to walk if you're crippled there soon enough. I couldn't walk, you know, more than 3 hours a day. And that was on massive pills. But anyway, hopefully it's not too late. By the time you start figuring this crap out that it is real, and you better start reacting. Because who knows, this may or may not be my last show. I don't really, either way, it's fine with me. I just want to be with my friend and make her comfortable as I see her brain being fizzled with a blister on her forehead traveling. I'm disgusted to the point of, like, this is no longer America. We're now in Poland, 1938. If you don't understand that, you better get it.
Right.
Sam, as far as the research that you've studied, where would somebody go to find out more on this, thinking that maybe like this party that was supposed to also call in that we never, she probably is a very targeted individual, who's mentioned about the fusion centers and DHS and all this.
BigBrothersWatchingUs.com is a good place.
What is it?
Big Brothers Watching Us.
Okay.
Peace Pink, you can watch it in real time. People putting down their pains and torture.org, I think peacepink.org. You know, I pulled out chips. They stole one of them. Why would they steal a chip from my house? Why would they steal all those SD cards? I mean, it's just so covered up that, you know, the information can't get out fast enough, and they could probably duplicate it or transcribe it in the way they see it look like a nut house anyway. We're not nuts, people. Sam's a real good guy. I know he is.
Sam, I was going to mention that if I was a person right now watching, I would want to know more about what I could do if I was very concerned. And I wouldn't know what to do and where to start. Where would you recommend that they start? Read your book first, right?
Yeah, I would definitely read that, because it's very blunt. It's very blunt about what's happened, what's happening, and you know it tells it like it is. It's very straightforward. Also, there's another good resource is a guy named Dr. Robert Duncan. He's published several books. He's a scientist. He used to work with the CIA. actually developed some of these technologies, or had a big role in it, and they ended up targeting him a little bit, I believe.
Oh.
And he has a very strong technical scientific background, so that's a very good source. But also, you might want to look at Jesse Ventura did an excellent document. He did an excellent documentary called Brain Invaders, and that may be one of the best sources out there to look at.
Yeah, that's Robert Duncan. Ron, you've mentioned that as well, Robert.
I had lunch with Robert. Him and I discussed, how they. My question to Robert Duncan when I had lunch right at the first Super Soldier Summit, I said, how do they know how to rip the toenail off my right foot, from the back forward? And I said, before you answer, let me tell you how they do it. They recorded it off someone else's pain. And he said, bingo. Oh, Control Factor. That's a good movie to watch, huh, Sam?
I was going to mention real quick, we've got 3 minutes left for this hour. Everyone, I appreciate you watching, and Ron, I'm greatly honored. You're considered like the national spokesman on this, and there's a book on the way.
I really don't know how much more time I got, man. And I'm not going to sit here and watch my friends die in front of me. And oh, by the way, we just lost another TI down in Oregon who took her own life at the age of 40 because of the voices in her head. And I'm so far, my heart is out to her family and her friends. It's just disgusting shit what you hear.
Well, real quick, how many people are killing? 35, 39 military?
35 soldiers a day are dying from this, and 891 people a day are killing themselves.
Wow. Wow. Do you have any statistics real quick? We got 2.5 minutes left. Sam, real fast. Stats, what's happening? How many more people? They're going to kill everybody on planet Earth? What's their goal? Sam?
I think that's what will end up happening, actually. I don't think that it's really their plan. Their plan, like I said, is kill a whole lot of people and enslave the rest and live like absolute kings. And one of the scariest aspects of this is they want the human soul. They want as much spiritual energy as they can rip off. And the technology they have with the directed energy type class of technologies they have, believe it or not, they can capture at least a lot of that to a large extent. And they're doing really, really deplorable experiments, with I guess what you'd call the other side. They're very interested in the spiritual plane, and what's out there. But I think it'll eventually it'll get out of control, and everyone will be wiped out. I think that's what'll happen.
Well, take note. I was going to mention it was off of beforeitsnews.com, and I reported and transferred over to the APFN Message News Board that the Vatican admitted that they've got 8,000 pedophile priests, that's what they admitted, in the common law court of the Netherlands. And if you take 8,000 pedophile priests, and that's the average pedophile will molest 200 children in his lifetime on the average, that's 1.6 million children. That's a lot of children for just the number of priests that they admitted. It's hard to comprehend that this is a holy order. Does it all tie to the Vatican? No doubt it must. But 1.6 million children will be raped by 8,000 Vatican Jesuit priests. What are you looking at, a Jesuit crime syndicate that's behind this? I mean, do I have a right to ask? I mean, so Sam, what's your thoughts on that? Do you think it all ties to the Black Ops being tied to the Vatican? I mean, where does it go? The Rothschilds, the Rockefellers, the Bilderbergers?
Yeah, I think it's the usual suspects, all that class of people. That makes me want to throw up what you said, with those numbers about the church. It doesn't surprise me a bit.
Well, they have
goes to show how sick and depraved, the real power structures are.
I know.
Out there, a lot of the people in them.
I had that MK Ultra video, remember?
I think that's pretty common, actually, that kind of behavior.
Well,
if you look at, I mean, whatever you want to call it, ritualistic type stuff. You know, whether it's formal or it's just something that's been ongoing for a long time. But yeah, I think it's all those groups and probably a bunch more that people don't know about that basically kind of collude together, and they're extremely narcissistic, and they consider themselves the elite, and you know they think they have sole rights to the planet and every resource, and they think they know what's best for everyone and the planet, and they're, you know, there you have it. The ends justify the means, you know, to them. So.
Well, take note. If it's soul harvesting, the best way you can think of is what better way for them to harvest souls than sodomy, submission, sacrifice, threat. You know, experimental.
That's right. That's certainly one. Yeah, that's right. That is a that causes extreme trauma, and I'm sure. Yes, that's right. That's definitely one way, and that's probably
what is it?
A key part of it. Whether they know it or not, whether they just do it because that's how they are. That's right.
What did you say? 60,000 people are missing from Washington State?
Yeah, 60,000 people disappeared. Apparently, according to some statistics, there's a person being murdered in the state every 1.5 minutes.
You know, and I watched eight people, you know, at the north end of Lake Washington.
Yeah, human sacrifice.
They said they could just move it anywhere. It doesn't matter.
Well, we're at the end of this hour. Sam, we're greatly honored. I've got your book up here in the background. I mean, excuse me, at the bottom of the screen, and it's how Sam Jenkins, author. And I've got your email up here as well, but it's How Black Ops Stopped Ascension, Transhumanism, End of the Human Era. And we're truly greatly honored. Sam, thank you very much. Look to have you on again and get some more insight. We're truly greatly honored. Sam,
my pleasure.
Thank you. And I'll be in touch with you soon because we're helping write another book, and the party who's sitting here has been one of the key inputs on this. You're one of the authors, Ron. Greatly honored. Thank you very much. And we've got a lot of very educated people in this community.
All of the effort you put in, Will, you know, hats off to you too, bud.
Well, I appreciate it a lot, Sam and Ron, and thank you, everyone. And as I got the information down here, you're watching All Day Live. And we'll see you next week. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Ron.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Sam.
Take care, Sam.
See you guys.
Ultra, which I'm still going through now. My life is in great danger because I'm at the end of. They want to get rid of me, and this is what they do. They essentially force you into suicide or, you know, some kind of mental breakdown.
Is that the Wilkes
Something.
program?
Their standard policy isn't really to kill you per se, although they can. And typically what...
you really need some line of sight, and you need to use something like a microwave carrier.
But he says people can be controlled en masse. The question then is, has the government used the technology? Begich says yes. He believes the U.S. sent anxiety signals to get Iraqis to surrender during the Gulf